So, ladies, tell me a little bit about what you're working on. It sounds like you have quite an exciting project lined up.
Mona, you want to do the honors for us?
Oh, listen, I am thrilled, honored, and excited to have had the privilege of my directorial debut being this amazing project that Tressa and her incredible company, Megamind, produced for BET Her. And it is part of a series of initiatives around different health issues. And the piece that I directed called Almost Enough centers on the subject of mental health.
Nice. Tressa, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, you know what? This is the first time, Mona, that we've talked about this part. When you just said the title, it made me think about how important that title is, because we've been talking all morning about how there's a little bit of us in this main character, Patience, and the title, Almost Enough, is what we want the world to understand, that we are enough. And sometimes we don't feel like we're enough because we're hit with all of these challenges and obstacles every single day. And so you don't have to be someone who's like having this near-death experience or this mental breakdown to experience a mental health challenge. We all experience it. And that's what this initiative is about, making sure people know it's okay if this is happening to you and this is how you deal with it. So we're excited.
Very nice. And I'm really excited about this too, because I think you're going to help so many people, especially women, because mental health is something that nobody wants to talk about because they feel so ashamed, and we're always conditioned to believe, oh, get over it. Other people have it worse. I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's that almost enough. Again, you're absolutely right, Tressa. Other people have it worse. And, what are you complaining about? Or suck it up and get over it. And, especially in our community, in the Black community, it's stigmatized. Right? Yeah. It's like, take it to God, take it to prayer. You don't need help. You're just not praying hard enough for this thing to go away. Yeah. So we really wanted an opportunity to talk about this openly, to talk about it in a forum that makes it safe for people who might be experiencing any of this stuff to step forward, especially with everything that we've all experienced. This might be an opportunity to, whether it's under the cloak of pandemic pressures, to step forward and say, I've been struggling, I've been having a hard time. I need some help.
That is so wonderful of you ladies to do. I mean, so I know so many people, myself included, that have gone through so many things, and it's so hard to talk about. And I applaud you both for bringing awareness to this and helping so many people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And what would you say was the biggest challenge about doing this project?
For me, during a pandemic.
Yeah. I definitely say that, because one of the things is when we first got the script was written prior to the pandemic. And so when we got the script, it was like, okay, well, we need to change this. We also kept contemplating, do we wear masks? Do we have the cast members wear masks? Or do we, how do we do this? So we had to really, think about how to deal with it from the perspective in pre-production. From the script standpoint. And then of course, when we got into production, you're filming in a totally different environment. You're wondering if the person next to you has COVID, and you're trying to figure out how to, make it through. Like, it was a really different type of filming. But, with our collaboration, Mona was filming her own projects during that time. So she was accustomed to doing it. And so we had a certain level of comfort with each other, knowing the process. And we pushed through and made it happen.
Absolutely. Too important a topic to let COVID stop us.
Yes. Right. That's right.
And I actually think that filming it during COVID and during the pandemic makes it that much more important, because so many people were suffering even more.
Absolutely.
I keep saying that, I think in one of our earlier conversations, I said, I want to do mental health, but it was for completely different reasons, mainly because, part of what I do as a storyteller, as a producer, is try to shed light on topics that, aren't openly discussed. And I always knew that the topic of mental health was one in our community that, nobody wants to talk about, nobody wants to admit to. And that was kind of the initial impetus for me. But who knew, right? Looking back now, that we would all embark collectively on probably what has been one of the most traumatic and stressful periods of all of our lives. And looking back on that and knowing now, what I know about what I've experienced personally, I realize that it's more important than ever that people understand that this is, something that everyone goes through, that it's okay to say, like, I'm struggling with coping, and that, we've all been through a lot. And hopefully this will give people the courage to speak up and seek the help.
Yeah.
I hope so. Definitely. And I think you're absolutely right. We need this now more than ever.
Mm-hmm. Who knew? Who knew?
Exactly. Yeah. And what would you say was the most important thing that you learned during filming this project for yourselves?
You want to take that first, Tressa?
Yeah, I would say for me, I kind of realized that mental health really affects me as well, because prior to that, I never even put myself in that box. But I think through filming this, I said, okay, you look at someone like Patience, where the average person wouldn't look at her and think that she's dealing with mental health challenges, because it was just a culmination of things happening throughout the day, her mom and unpaid bills and not getting the job and all these things. And so I'm like, well, if I look at myself every day, there are days where I get the no's, the rejections. I need a loan for $1 million. It didn't come through. I mean, all kinds of things are going on. So I'm like, wait a minute, that's me. It was the first time I think this particular story resonated with me, because some of the other episodes of the mental health series, there's some on schizophrenia. There were some last year on other topics that didn't necessarily resonate with me, but this one was me. I was like, whoa, okay.
I think I have to agree with you completely on that. And one of the things that I love about the way the story was told is that it wasn't about, like you said, this, massive life-altering event.
Yeah,
It's the everyday, the small
absolutely.
things that compound and that, chip away at you, your self-esteem, your sense of confidence, and your sense of being able to cope. And a lot of us can relate to that.
Yeah.
And a lot of us don't see that as a mental health crisis. When we break down, we can't get out of bed, we're crying uncontrollably, and we don't recognize that those are symptoms of depression or anxiety. So, putting it forth within a story and a character that is very, very relatable was important, because I think that if people can watch Patience and recognize themselves and realize, like, okay, when I, have had those days when I just can't get up and, I feel like the world is closing in on me, or worse yet, I want to harm myself because I just can't take it anymore. That these are symptoms of, depression, that these are symptoms of mental health. I'm not crazy. I'm not, losing my mind. I'm experiencing something that I can get help for.
Absolutely.
And what's next for you ladies? Are you guys working on any more on this series or other projects?
Woo, that's a hard listen. I got anxiety all right now.
Well, for you, Tressa, this piece is just one in an anthology of stories that cover a number of health issues that are important in our community, right? I think I have the distinction of being the first movie. But then there's Vivica's movie. Yes. So go ahead.
We're airing 2 mental health episodes, which will both air on July 10th. But then right after that, I'm airing the breast cancer awareness films in October, and I'm doing domestic violence in October as well. So all of those will come out back to back, and then including all of my other projects are releasing back to back over the next 4 months. So I am heavily in post-production. I call it post-production hell right now. Okay. On so many projects. And then I'm in pre-production on a lot of projects as well. So I'm experiencing all kinds of anxiety right now. That's why it was great to be on here with you all today, to see these smiling faces and give me a change of scenery.
Listen, those are blessings, blessings, blessings. Because if we think back, last year was incredibly uncertain. So many
Right.
of us didn't know what was next, what was
Yeah.
around the corner, whether our industry would survive. So
Right.
very, very happy to hear that. But I know you are just as grateful as I am.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah,
I
we are
am.
working hard every day.
That's right.
What are you working on, Mona?
Oh gosh, I'm just wrapping a project for Amazon. Incredibly excited about that, in a completely different genre of music and entertainment, but in the unscripted space. Have a couple of scripted projects. Tressa, I've got to call you and tell you about that.
I can't wait
A
to
feature,
hear.
yeah, in a scripted series that I'm going into development on. And just working on the franchise. We've got both of our cities, Miami and Atlanta, in production, and we just aired a special that my company produced, Inside the A, giving you a retrospective look back on all the things you love about Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, specifically in anticipation of the new season, which starts airing next week. And we're excited about that. It was shot during the pandemic, so in a very, very different style. But yeah, just excited about the future and all the different projects, but still going strong. So grateful.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
I'm so proud of the both of you. I'm gonna have to have you both back on when all this happens.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you
lost an
so
ear.
much.
It just flew off my ear. Thank you
Oh,
so much. And again, I say thank you for giving visibility and exposure to this project, which is so near and dear to both Tressa and myself. BET, I, commend them for really putting forth this initiative and investing in it
Yeah.
in a way that allowed us to tell these stories. So we're excited about this and grateful for the exposure from you as a media platform. Thank you.
absolutely. And tell us one more time where we can watch you, where we can follow you on social media so we can keep up with you too.
I'm
Absolutely.
at Mona Scott Young, very simply, at Mona Scott Young, company at Mona Mient. And the project airs on BET Her, July 10th, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. And Tressa?
And I am CEO Azarel on all social media platforms. And then my company is Megamind_media on all platforms.
Beautiful. I'll send you both follows. Thank you so much. I
Thank
appreciate
you so much.
and
We
good luck with
appreciate you.
everything.
Thank
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 you.
you. Bye.
Bye.